All right, hey everybody. It is 1 o'clock, not our normal meeting time, but I thought I would go ahead and schedule this a little early so we could get on with our weekend. Hope everybody had a good afternoon yesterday after we finished. My plans were to clean up my craft room, and of course that did not happen. But I'm gonna do my best to try to do that again after this live. So I got my cough drops here. I see everybody is kind of settling in. Hey, Robin, Kim, Tina, Sharon. Hello, everybody. Hope you all are doing great. Just confirm that you can see and hear me, and that would be awesome. Robin, you are so good. You can see and hear me. Excellent. All right, perfect. Kim, thank you as well. All right, so yesterday, we created our Ephemera book, right? Did anybody jump in and try to put one together? Just let me know in the comments if you guys did do your homework. I didn't. I did some of my homework. A lot of it is prepping, but I think we'll be okay. Today, what I want to show you is how to decorate the pages as far as your tucks and your pockets and that kind of a thing. So that's what we're going to do today. So let me think. I did, yeah, you know what, Robin, I was just going to say that. I did go and look for that paper. And the paper I found that I ordered back in August, I don't know if it's this paper. So I didn't want to mislead you guys. I'm going to order it when I get back from the trip and see if that's what I used. But I don't want to mislead you. But what I found was, yeah, Delina, not yet. We haven't checked the mail today because of that snowstorm we had yesterday. So we'll be checking it on Monday. Thank you. But this is what it is. When I looked up what I ordered on Amazon, it did say chipboard paper. So that just seemed a little odd to me. Chipboard typically is a little bit thicker. But this is heavy. I just don't want to mislead you guys without reordering it and seeing what I ordered. You know, when I order stuff from Amazon, I don't think about keeping the link or whatever. I probably should, right? But I just, like I said, I don't want you guys to order something and that's not what I used. So if you can just bear with me. It's heavy craft cardstock. I mean, I think you guys are crafters and probably can figure it out. It's just not lightweight paper. The link I found said chipboard, and I thought, well, that doesn't seem right. But I ordered that before, so maybe it was. So I'm going to do a little bit more research when I get back from my trip. But if you have, I mean, just heavy cardstock is what you want. Just, you guys can figure it out, I'm sure. Just heavy, not your normal cardstock, heavy cardstock. Because you're going to be making pockets and tucks. Yeah, I think it's probably a little bit more than 100 pounds. I'd say probably 120, Kim. But it doesn't feel like your normal cardstock. It definitely is a little heavier. But I'm going to be making a few more of these. So when I order the paper, I would order it now, but it would arrive when I was on my trip, and I really don't want to do that. So sorry, I know I should have probably been more prepared for that. Just heavy cardstock. We've made a few journals together. You guys know the difference between light cardstock and heavy cardstock. So I promised I will. Was it hard to score? No, it really isn't, Kim. I scored these. Well, let me transition down and we'll talk better. How's that? Let's see, because I want to make sure I answer all your questions. Lourdes, I was thinking about you today. Because of our trip, we're staying in Los Angeles, but we got to get to Long Beach Port, and my son is driving in the morning of. So I'm all nervous about missing the ship. So I don't know. I'm a nervous Nelly. So he says he can pick us up by like 11:30 or 12, and our boarding time is 2 to 2:30. So yeah, I'm a little nervous about that. But if I get too nervous, I'm just gonna take an Uber. Um, no room to craft. Well, we'll just hide all that. We'll hide all that other stuff, Kim. No problem. All right. So yeah, I scored these with no problem at all. And as you can see, you know, they're sturdy. They're staying in there. They're not going anywhere. We are staying at the Westin in Los Angeles, right by the airport. But then we got to get to the port in Long Beach. And the ride says it's like a 25 to 30 minute drive. But, you know, LA traffic on a Saturday, I don't know. I'm just a nervous Nelly, so I've got to figure it out. If my, you know, I told my son we would get him a room to get him a little closer, and they want to drive in the morning. So I don't know. You know, us old people like to be prepared, and we don't like to wing it and take chances. So. Is it like the backing on the 12 by 12 paper? A little thinner than that, Robin. That is a little bit too thick. But I'd say it's like 120-pound paper, maybe a little bit more. Long Beach is not that far, but the traffic takes time. Yeah. I'm hoping, you know, I'm going to tell him if he's not going to be there by noon, we're taking an Uber and we're going to go in. I think 2 hours. But the thing is, he has to park and all that nonsense. I don't know. I'm just get a little nervous. All right. So I will figure out the paper when I get back. But just know that it's just heavy cardstock. All right, so yesterday when we finished, we had the structure of the book put together. And I cut out all my paper. I didn't get them all glued down, but I did cut it out. We're going to go ahead and make some pages here. So... oh gosh, Lord. So I don't want to inconvenience you. That's terrible. I mean, worst case scenario, we'll take an Uber. Yeah. I mean, supposedly he's going to be there on time. He's leaving at 4 in the morning from Flagstaff. But you get an extra hour. You get an extra hour. When you get into California, so that's like leaving at 3 in the morning. So yeah, well, like I said, if I get too nervous, I'm just gonna call for a ride and pay the extra money and not stress about it. All right, so you want to decorate your pages. If you don't want to glue all the pages down, then you can just kind of go along. But I kind of figured out what pages would coincide here. And maybe I'll do that one. And I even used some paper that was graphic 45, but not part of the exact paper stack that we're using, but it still coincide. A lot of blacks, a lot of reds, a lot of blues, and then we'll just kind of figure it out as we go. All right, so the back pages, I typically do pockets, so we'll do those last. I want to show you how to do, you're about 15 minutes from Los Angeles downtown. Really? Wow. Okay. Yeah. I'll have to, I'm going to Google your address. 15 minutes from Los Angeles downtown. I don't want to inconvenience anybody though. So I'm going to show you how to make these pockets here. And they're really easy. So essentially what you need is 4 inches, 3 inches, 2 inches, and 1 inch. And once you back your paper, then you just kind of layer them. So let me show you. So I've already done this one as a pockets. This is a pocket like this. And the dies that I used for this, you guys probably remember these. These were the ones that I think I put them in the link from yesterday. These were the ones that I got on eBay. Not eBay. I know, right? That would be awesome. These are the ones that I got on Amazon. And these worked really well for these journals. So, yeah. Really, really nice. So if you didn't get those, if you did not get those, if you didn't get those dies, I did put them in the link, but that's what I'm using for my pockets. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. So I'm gonna, let's see here. Let's go ahead and just pick a page randomly. I don't want all my pockets to be too close together. So let's do, I don't know. Let's do this one, I guess. So this is gonna be your backing, and you're gonna want, again, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And I thought I had already cut some out. Let's see here. I did. All right. So I've got 4 inches, 3 inches, 2 inches, and 1 inch. And they're basically just layers. So we're going to go ahead and glue it onto the paper first. And then we'll glue it onto the book. So here is my background paper. And the way that it works is you start out with your 4 inches. So 4 inches this way, and then the length of your book. I know we all have different books. Let's see. So when you're gluing your pockets, make sure you don't glue the front part of your pocket. Okay, just like that. And all the way to the end. So this is your very first tuck. Okay, so there's that. There's 4. And then 3 will be, of course, right here. And then you have another tuck. So it's the same exact thing. This is probably one of the easiest pocket tuck pages I've ever done. You just, you want to find paper that looks good together. I guess you could use the same paper, but that would be kind of boring, I think. So there's 3, right? So 4, 3, and then this is 2. So let's see here. Should I do the pocket? These are the pockets, Robin. So these are your tucks. So this is my back paper, right? And I'll show you right now. And then this is the one. So when you finish, you're going to have some tuck pages. Okay. And then there's my 1 inch. Alright, so now you have your tuck. So you've got a tuck here, you've got a tuck here, you've got a tuck here, And then you've got a tuck right there. And then once you have that all together, then you can just add it to your page. Let's see what page. I think it was this one. So really, really easy. Just, add that to your page and you're ready to go. Now, if this is a little bit longer, if you do the tucks first, you don't want to trim this. So that's the only downfall of not gluing this down first, is you have to make sure this is precise. So when I'm trying to put this together, do you see how it's a little bit long? So you gotta, let's see here, you gotta just make sure that this is precise. So I'm just going to cut it down just a bit. My pages are 5 inches across, so I just trimmed it just to make sure I'm good, and that looks pretty good. All right, so once you have this, then you can go ahead and just glue the whole thing down. And this is my main kind of tuck page for my ephemera. I love these tuck pockets because they fit so many pieces. So let's see here. And then I've got my little brayer here to glue it down. And then you have another tuck page. So, you'll be able to put all your ephemera pieces and whatnot in here. How many suitcases? So we'll probably have the 2 main ones and then 2 carry-ons, I'm guessing. But that's another thing I got to talk to my son about, because he's, him and his roommate are going to have his suitcases too. So got to make sure everything's going to fit. So I don't know. All right, so there's one page. So you can do several of these types of pages in your cluster journal, and they'll work great. I would just say don't put them right next to each other, because that's not fun. And then that will give you lots of room for all of your clusters. All right, so that's the first type of pocket page. The second type of pocket page I'm going to show you. I'll show you this one in a minute. But a pocket that's going to hold thick items. So this is just a straight piece of paper. This is my mess up here. This is just a straight piece of paper, and then I just glued it. But that's not very thick. So you're not going to fit a lot of things in here. In my Christmas book, where's my Christmas book? I did the folds to create more room, because look at all my paper dolls I have in here. And, this kind of pops up. So if you need a thicker pocket, yeah, we could meet him at Long Beach. That's what we would be doing. I don't know. We'll have to think about that. But yeah, I'll email you, Lourdes. I'll email you, and then we can talk about it a little bit more. But I certainly don't want to inconvenience anybody. All right, so for a larger pocket, let's see here. Got some fun paper here. That's fun, isn't that? Let's use this one. So for a larger pocket, you're going to need your scoreboard, and let's see, 1/2 inch typically is what I score. So just figure out pockets with gussets. Is that what they're called, Kim? You know, I don't know the fancy names, you guys. But it's a pocket that gives you more room for junk. How's that? More junk room. So again, your page is 5 inches long. Ooh, look at that. No, I don't want to do that. Let's see. This can go. Not there. Not there. Ooh, let's do that. Okay, so we'll do this page. So, pockets with gussets. Thank you, Kim. Fancy ladies. Now, you can certainly do your pocket all the way against the edge, which I guess we can go ahead and do. Or if you don't want to do that, your pocket could be a little bit smaller than your page. But you're going to have measurements. This is where we're going to have to do math, you guys. If you don't want to do math, then just score it 1/2 inch. Put this on your scoreboard. Score at, 5 is, I said 5, right? Score at 5. And then score at 5 1/2. Is it a half? I said half, right? 5 1/4. That doesn't seem like very much. 5 1/2. All right. And then that's your cut line. All right. So there we go. You don't think I should go to the edge? How come? I've done that before. So if I go to the edge, because it probably will pull up a little bit. I mean, I can see that. I'm going to the edge. We'll see how it works out. And then I'm going to do 1/2 inch here to give us again more room, and then I will cut it so we don't have all that bulk paper, right? Okay. And then you can fold it over. There we go. And then just glue it on. Now if you want to put, a little punch, you could do a half circle here if you wanted to. I've done that before. I mean, we can do that, right? Let's see. Just eyeballing it, trying to make sure it's even. That looks good. And then we'll just glue this right on, and that could be another page. So this type of a pocket, like I said, is typically for thicker, something that's going to bulge out a little bit. If you're just doing like single or double layer cluster pieces, then you probably don't need the pocket with the gusset. That's my new favorite word, gusset. All right. But again, remember, you're going to have tension on this pocket, so you're going to want to make sure it's, glued really, really strong. So we're gonna clip this. Got my clips here. We're gonna clip it, and let's see, clip. All right, do one more clip, and then we're gonna just let it sit for a minute. How's that? And then we'll glue it on. We're just gonna give it time for the glue to do its thing, right? So we'll let that sit a minute, and that'll go right there. So you've got your tuck pages that we just did. You got your gusset page. Love my gussets. And then if you want to do, multiple pockets, you can add extra pockets. So what I'm saying, what are you talking about, Monica? What I'm saying is you can put, let's do that. That'll be fun. You can put that right there. If you want your journal to be decorative, right? You can put, and it doesn't have to go all the way to the edge either. In fact, let's see. Let's do a corner around here. You can create additional little tucks, right? So this is part of a the decorative process, right? So if you want to add a little pocket here, we can. So let's do that. So you can layer on top of your pockets. If you wanted to add something there, you could. So just, hey Melody, I saw you just joined. Welcome, welcome. So you can, add little pieces of decorative paper to make more tucks. I mean, this cluster book, this cluster journal is all about having tucks and pockets, because you're gonna fill it, and it's gonna be like your reference book when you want to make something. If you want to do it like themes, then when you go to make a Christmas project, you can just get out your cluster book or your ephemera book. It doesn't even have to be clusters. It could be ephemera, right? And you'll have all of your decorative stuff in there. So let's see. Robin, you guys got snow yesterday? Yeah, we got a lot of it. Just looking here. All right, so now I've got my pocket, I've got my little tuck, and this could be for longer pieces. So, if you're making, long clusters, you might want to have a pocket that is deep enough. All right, so that is another way to decorate your book. So I think we're probably good to glue this down. So let's do that. All right, so let's go ahead and do this. So let me ask you guys, and be honest. Are you guys just watching? Or are you guys gonna make? Are you guys gonna make a book? And the reason I'm asking is because this is a very basic, easy journal book. So even if you don't make pockets and you just want to decorate the pages, this is a great starter journal. All it takes is, Cheez-Its boxes, or, just a cereal box that you can cut down. And, oh, did I not trim this? Let's see. My page is going to be too long. Monica. Let's see. That might be too long, but I'm not going to trim it. See, I made the mistake of not checking my size of my paper before I started. You're going to make one, Robin? Good. Yeah, they're fun to make. But shoot, let's see. See, you guys get to see me with my mistakes here. Let me measure this. I might have to. I didn't trim this. Monica. That's part of my problem when I'm demonstrating, is I get so hung up on the demonstration that I don't pay attention to the logistics of the book. So give me a second here. Let me measure this out, which I should have done. Well, it should be fine. That should be fine. I'm going to see. I did such a good job of gluing this down, but this is why I like wet ink. I'm gonna trim it just an eensy weensy. Sorry guys, but this is, you get to see me screw up and fix it. So I'm just pulling my pocket up, and my glue is sticking. We're not gonna get frustrated though. We're just gonna fix it. So there's my 5. Gotta trim it and it just needs a tad. It just needs a tad. You found a pretzel box. Good, yeah. Awesome. Yeah, that'll be really fun. Okay, so here we go. Now, now my pocket is not. See, this is Monica screwing up, but that's okay, guys. We're gonna fold this over just a eensy weensy. Where's my bone folder? Anything can be fixed, and if you screw it up, then you can throw it away and start over. Because it's just paper. All right, I think that will do it. So yeah, before you start, I guess that's a good lesson of what not to do. Before you start gluing onto your back page, if you are doing it this way, make sure your page doesn't need to be trimmed, because once you have all the decorative stuff on it, it becomes more difficult to trim it. And I didn't want my paper hanging over, so this probably will solve the problem. All right. You're going to use some of those Million Michael single sheet pad. Yes, Robin, I know about those. I like the paper. Is it Tim Holtz or downloadable or in the shop? This is actually Graphic 45 Melody. It's, what is it? Something Scape. Really, really old paper pad. I'm going through my papers. That's why I've been making these cluster journal books and, you know, clusters. I'm trying to use up my paper, because mostly in the future, I'm not going to have tons and tons of paper. I'm just going to use downloadable paper. So that way, in the future, you know, if we need to pack up or move or whatever, I won't have so much paper, because that truly was a lot of what I packed up was paper. All right, there we go. Okay, so thanks, Kim. Yeah, and that's again why I love wet glue, because if I would have used, tape, forget it. You know, if I would have waited longer, I would have torn it. I mean, this was a mistake. Look at how I tore my paper. So I really like, yeah, digital paper, Kim, I think is going to be the way for me to go in the future. Just for storage space. All right, so that looks good. Okay, so tragedy averted. So now I got my pockets right there, got my tuck right there, and I'm good to go. All right, excellent. I got a little bit, you know, where I trimmed, I got a little bit there, but I'm fine with it. This is my book, so it will still work for what I'm trying to use. Cityscapes, that sounds right, Robin. Let's see. Just looking. Cool. All right, so that's another page you can do, is a gusset pocket. Gusset. I like that word. All right, so we've got our oh, Monica, look at this. You guys aren't keeping me honest. Look at this, is upside down. I'm having a heck of a time today. Is my book upside down? Okay, shoot. 1, 2, 3, 4. Page. Oh, Jesus Christ. All right. Sorry about that, guys. I got a little irritated with myself there a minute ago. So make sure your page is the right direction. See, I do make mistakes, you guys. I know you guys don't always see my mistakes. And that's why a lot of times I like to do my prototypes. I know, right? Right? It's because I'm not really honestly, I'm not really paying attention. I'm just kind of doing it, and I need to pay more attention to what I'm actually doing, and chit-chatting. But that's okay. No one's gonna know except for people that watch this video. Because once the book is done, no one's gonna know. Alright, so let's try this again. Try number 3. I'm glad I caught it though. Can you imagine if I didn't catch it when it was already glued down? Oh man, I would have been throwing a hissy fit. Okay, alright, so how to fix errors. Yes, yes, yes. That could have been a disaster though. I mean, at the end of the day, if it was completely glued down, there would have been no fixing it. I would have lost it. I would have had to tear it up, and then do another page. But again, that would have been fine. It's not the end of the world. All right. My goodness, that's your gusset page. Got my got my text going the right way. I got my pages going the right way. All right. The next page I want to show you are individual pockets, and I'm thinking I'm going to do it here. You stamped all your Halloween envelopes upside down. I let them fly. I let them fly. They complain. No more cards for them. Absolutely, Melody. No cards for you. You can be the card Nazi. All right. So another fun way to make pockets are to make cluster pockets. And I know we're going to do clusters tomorrow, guys, but I want to show you as you're decorating your book, leave a couple of pages blank. So when you go to make your clusters, in fact, maybe we'll do that tomorrow. Yeah. Rather than today. We're going to have cluster pockets. And what I mean by cluster pockets, here's a cluster. Actually, maybe we can use this one. You're going to want a pocket that you leave open, that you can stick things in. And ideally, I'd like to have this a little bit longer. Maybe we'll add to it, so it becomes a pocket as well. So yeah, let's do that. So I think I had another cluster here too. Let me see. Yeah, we can do that. Okay, so this is a cluster that I made, and the bigger ones you can turn into pockets. They're really fun. So let me find some more scraps here that we can use, something that will match, right? So we can do something, I think, like this, but that has the edge. I think I want to use red. Let's see. I could use, oh, that's too red, right? We need the red white, I think. Hey, Maxie. Maxie's in the house. Yeah, that might work. Well, it's the wrong direction, though. Should we use this? Oh, that would be fun, huh? I wouldn't use the whole thing, though. I would just use the bottom portion. Yeah, let's do that. All right. So part of the struggle is finding the right designer paper. So let's do this. I'm going to make this 2 inches. 2 inches typically is my size for my pockets. We're going to just add, when you're making your cluster, typically when I'm doing it, I kind of just start layering. But since we've already got the cluster made, we're just going to make the pocket and then keep it open so we can tuck it in. So this should be really, really easy. This is actually a bigger a bigger one. Um, you can make smaller pockets. I'm going to just do this as one though. So yeah, so remember it's going to be a pocket. So when you glue it down, do your edges. Don't do your top part, of course, right? Because that's where you're going to be sticking things in. And just figure out how tall you want this. And then this can go, I'm going to probably have this a little bit longer because this is what we're doing, guys. Oh, there's my other one. This is going to be a pocket tuck to put more things. So not only are you, having a pocket that you're creating, but you're decorating your page as well. So that's a lot of fun, right? You're like, no, Monica, that's not fun at all. I think it's kind of fun. And then because, you've got that whole ticket thing going on here, maybe this could be your page for your tickets. Maybe we'll make tickets tomorrow, guys. I don't know. We'll figure it out. So I'm going to put glue here and around the edge. So that's what I'm going to do here. So again, you want to keep room. How did you see Maxie? How did you see Maxie log in? I saw that you watching. How did you see Maxie log in? I saw the view watching go up to 8 and 6 and 7. I'm not sure what you're saying, Melody. So we will put glue here. And these were tickets that I used as clusters, guys. So, I think part of preparing to create clusters is creating the ephemera. And sometimes when we're not, I don't say we're not creative, when we can't get our creative juices flowing, sometimes it's good just to create ephemera pieces, stick them in your book, and then when you have everything made, then you can sit down and make clusters. So that's what I do a lot. I mean, and that's why I say when I have stuff on my desk, sometimes I just sit down and I just put things together. So that's what this book is good for as well.